from the Fox 5 studios, this is the Reb Zone Sports Show.
Hey, hey, welcome into the Reb Zone. Another busy week with the Runnin Rebels, per usual. I hope you guys stayed up late on Friday night to catch the guys going toe-to-toe against top-ranked Boise State. The Rebels lost a close one on the road, but Bryce Hamilton doing his thing, dropping a game-high 32 points. You already know this is the Bryce Hamilton Show. And hey, this guy could definitely have his own show, no doubt. No Donovan Williams against Air Force and Boise State this week, so he picked up a second gig at Fox 5 as a sports reporter. Donovan's still out with his right knee injury, but still in high spirits.
What's your plan for the game tomorrow, Royce?
To get you out of here.
That's how we doing it?
That is not nice. That is not nice.
You know I'm working on my
Donovan out here taking my job. And the Runnin Rebels sophomore Reece Brown has been through a lot in his first two seasons at UNLV, playing through a COVID season, adjusting to a brand new team, and losing his mother after a 4.5-year battle with lung cancer. Reece tells me he's playing for his mom, and he's had to grow up a lot in his first 2 years at UNLV.
You know, it's more just like motivation that life is short. You know, it's just a reminder that any day could be your last. So just go out. There's no need for negativity. Like I feel like my mindset, like I've matured like 10 years in the past, like during that few month stretch for real. So.
Yeah, we got a beautiful show tonight on the Reb Zone. Coach Kruger in studio. I was telling him he's a pro at this by now, a professional sports broadcaster.
Yeah, something like that.
Great week. A lot of good things to talk about. A big dub over Air Force, a strong game against Boise State. You were telling me this week there's just a different tone in practice this week, a different fire you're seeing from your guys right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the last few games have been a great experience for the group, getting to go through those battles together and continuing to gel and work. And, you know, we've talked about it from day one about just getting better, just focusing on the day and getting better. And I think they've continued to do that.
I think Friday night was the most intensity I've seen from your guys, the biggest fight from them this season. What does it say about your guys just going toe-to-toe against a top-ranked team?
Yeah, I think when you go against a team like Boise that's been together a while and playing really well, you got to prep the way to do whatever you can do to give yourself a chance to win on the road. Tough environment, tough team, and I thought the guys did that. 2 good days of prep, battled like crazy, and had a chance to win the game. Yeah,
we're seeing a different juice from the Runnin Rebels right now. Let's start the Bryce Hamilton Show, a packed house at Extra Mile Arena in Boise. But the Runnin Rebels come out with intensity. Mike Nuga setting the tone, pushing his way up for 2 Rebels on the board first. B. Ham from deep and draws the foul. UNLV jumps out to a 13-4 lead over Boise State, but the Broncos get going. Abu Kijab drains a 3 from the corner, and Boise State steals the lead 23-22. But it's B-Ham all day, baby. Bryce Hamilton racks up 18 first-half points as UNLV takes a 36-29 lead at halftime. The B-Ham show continues in the second half. UNLV trails by 1, 44-43. Broncos still fighting in this thing. Tyson Dagenhart, the Mountain West Freshman of the Week, with a big bucket. Boise State on top, 57-52. This game comes down to the wire. A minute left in the ballgame, and Kijab comes through with a big 3-point bucket. Boise State takes a 65-61 lead. McCabe throws it up to David Mwaka, and it's a 2-point game. Rebels trail 65-63. Broncos Dagenhart would later knock down 2 free throws. Broncos up 69-63, and the clock is winding down in Boise. B-Ham, no dice. UNLV falls to the Broncos 69-63. Hamilton says he's proud of his guys fighting with the Broncos.
Most definitely. I feel like, you know, we're not a team you could just take slightly. We're going to go play hard. We're going to play hard for 40 minutes. We're just going to keep on working, keep on getting better. You know, by the time when the tournament comes, I feel like we're going to be a much better team than we are right now.
I mean, literally fighting with a scratch on his
nice
head and everything.
Halfway
through the game, I was like, is Bryce okay? I mean, it was a fight, physical fight out there. What does this just say about your guys post-game in the locker room, just everyone's mood after this game?
I think Bryce said it perfectly. It's just about continuing to get better, going out and competing and fighting and giving yourself a chance to win and being okay with whatever result happens as long as you go out and compete and fight.
and your preparation for this week, just in Boise, knowing they're a top-ranked team. I feel like the guys just had a different juice this week.
Yeah, they knew and respected Boise, and I think as much as anything, when you have a healthy respect for your opponent and know what they're capable of doing, it can change your approach a little bit. But the guys recognized it, they appreciated it, and they worked really hard the 2 days leading up.
What was the energy like this morning at practice, just coming off that loss?
Yeah, a lot of similarities. Recognizing we're right there, we're getting better. As Bryce said, people I think are starting to take notice that UNLV plays really hard. They compete, and there's not going to be a game where we don't go out and fight. And I think Boise, talking to Coach Rice after the game, he mentioned the same thing. He complimented the guys on how hard they worked and how hard they played, and that's really all it comes down to.
Are you hearing that from just every coach, every opponent you guys have faced this year, just how hard your team is playing right now?
We are. The compliment that we get mostly from a lot of other staffs is that the guys just play really hard. They compete, they give it what they can, and they're hard to prepare for because they know it's hard to simulate when a team plays as hard as they can.
Well, no one's stopping Bryce Hamilton right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been going off, but let's go out to the Thomas and Mack. UNLV with a chip on their shoulder from their Utah State road loss last weekend. Air Force coming out with some heat from deep. Second three-point basket of the night from Ethan Taylor, and the Falcons jump out to a 10-7 lead. Kind of a slow start for the Rebels on Tuesday night against Air Force, but Justin Webster comes off the bench with his usual big threes. Josh Baker, also a guy coming off the bench with some spark as UNLV steals the lead 19-17. Runnin Rebels heating up from deep, knocking down 6 threes in the first half, taking a 14-point lead at halftime, 39-25. Rebels keep it rolling in the second. McCabe, that no-look pass to Royce Ham. Bench is going wild. I see you, Mike Kruger, with those dance moves. Mublaka cleans it up with a one-handed dunk. 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks from David Mwaka. UNLV shuts Air Force down, picking up their biggest win of the season, 78-44, a 34-point dub over Air Force. Mike Kruger tells me that Utah State loss kind of sparked a fire in them to come out and ball out.
I think that, just knowing that that was a game that we could have won and that we didn't play to our best potential, just lit a fire under all of us. And when we came into practice, we practiced with that same fire that, we just lost the game. We have another chance to get a team that beat us. And, we just practiced with that same fire, and we came out with that same intensity, and we got it done.
Kind of a slow start for your guys on Tuesday, but that second half, I mean, it just opened up. You guys let it out there.
Yeah, it really did. A little bit of a slow start, but all in all, 14 field goals for Air Force, 6 in the second half. If you take away those first few minutes, it was really a really good defensive performance by the guys. I think one thing when you play Air Force, you don't want to give up any back cuts, any wide open layups, because it's really hard to recover as a group when you do that. But the guys didn't. They didn't give up one back cut on the night, and I think that's what led to a really good defensive game.
I want to talk about David Mwaka and just the fire you're seeing from him right now.
Oh, it's been a lot better. We've continued to challenge him, demand more out of him. He's finished some games for us, some big games. I mean, he was in there at the end of the Boise game, competing and being a rim threat, as you saw with Jordan, guarding Armas down there, who's a big seasoned veteran. So we're just going to continue to push David and just try to see how good he can get, because we think the world of David, and we're really excited about him being a Rebel.
Is he one of your most improved players this season?
I think so. David came here and he was actually one of the last commitments. And at the time, James Hampshire, a 7-foot kind of rim protector, shot blocker, rim threat, had already committed. And Royce being here, knowing that Vic could play some at that spot. So for David to come here, it shows that he had a good mindset. And then, of course, with the injuries, the way they played out for us this year, he's been kind of thrust into a little bit bigger of a role than maybe he had expected, but he continues to work. So it's been great for us, and like I said, we're excited about him.
Yeah, awesome to see guys come off the bench and step up and have a bigger role this season. I know Reece Brown is one of those guys that's played more minutes and come off the bench with some spark for you guys. Coming up next, he shares his why with us, how his mom's 4.5-year battle with lung cancer made him grow up fast and fight each day. Brown shares how challenging his collegiate journey has been, but how it's made him stronger.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
We each have a battle we're going through, something we're fighting through every day that maybe most people can't tell. Every interaction I've had with Reece Brown, he's smiling, laughing, always sweet, and seems to really enjoy his teammates. But internally, he's coming out on the court every day carrying this heavy weight of his mother passing away from lung cancer in April of 2021. It's been anything but easy for the sophomore forward living on the other side of the country during a pandemic while his mother fought for her life in Albany, New York. But Reece tells me what he's learned from watching his mother, his rock, battle through stage 4 lung cancer.
Yeah, you know, obviously, like, it was a tough year. Like, I had to deal with a lot off the court, like, even before then. That was, like, the last straw. So, I guess really just learn how to never stop fighting. You know, she never stopped fighting for us towards the end. You know, she was a very, like, never always played it off to, like, better than it was. So, you know, after, you know, going through that whole process, like, I'm just getting a text message, like, updates, like, oh, she's back in New York City, or she's back in this or that, so got to go see this doctor. So it was pretty stressful, you know, having to deal with that and, like, trying to balance school and basketball at the same time. But, you know, I definitely just learned how to just be a fighter, you know. I was lucky enough to be able to see her again for the last few weeks before she passed after the season last year. So, you know, getting to see her look, you know, pretty bad. You know, it was tough, but, like, kind of just really motivating for me. And, like, you know, seeing her, like, just not want to fight, still trying to recover for her kids. And, like, she was literally on her deathbed, and she was telling me, like, no, like don't wait for me, you got to get back out to UNLV. And she, like, couldn't even, like, comprehend everything. So, like, I feel like it's just more of a reason, just more of a path for my journey. You know, everybody's path is different, and mine takes a little bit longer, but I'm confident in what the future's going to hold.
It's almost been 1 year since Reece's mother passed away, and there's not one day that goes by where Reece doesn't miss her beautiful smile. I asked Reece how he wakes up every day and pushes through the pain.
You know, like I said, like, I know my mom wouldn't want me, like, to be sitting around sad all the time, you know. I know she would want me to still, like, live life, and, you know, it's more just like motivation that life is short, you know. It's just a reminder that any day could be your last, so just go out. There's no need for negativity. Like, I feel like my mindset, like, I've matured like 10 years in the past, like during that few month stretch, for real. So it was just like, you know, like, every day, like everyone always talked about, like, my mom's smile and everything. So, like, I just kind of, like, stayed the same, you know. Like, if anything, even more so, like, I have my close circle that I could talk to, like, when I am down. Like, I have my people in my circle, so, like, I know that's not going to change, and, you know, it's going to stay that way. And, you know, I don't open up to too many people, but, you know, she would want me to be happy and keep going, and that's kind of like what I do. You know, I'm always a happy, goofy guy. I'm always dancing and stuff. I'm like the dancing guy on the team, so there's no reason to be sad. Life's too short to be sad.
Cool. Good.
Beautiful story from Reece, and he is so happy, so smiley, such a great guy. You would never know that he's carrying all this with him, but he was telling me just how challenging last year was as a freshman, being on campus, dealing with COVID, and not being able to visit his mom in New York. What conversations did you have with him last year?
Yeah, just trying to be there for him as much as you can. You know, you can't even imagine what that's like. And but like he said, Reece is happy. He's great to have around. We're proud he's a Rebel. We're glad he's a Rebel. And yeah, he had to go through that, and during COVID especially, couldn't have been easy. But he continued to work. He continued to be with the team. And so, like I said, we're happy Reece is a Rebel.
He's told me he's matured 10 years in the past 2 years, basically. How have you seen him mature and kind of grow up from what he's had to go through?
Well, I think Reece, especially in his situation, you know, he's with his mom and dad. He had great parents at home. He's got a great sister in his life. But I think as much as anything, he's taken a lot more accountability and ownership of kind of his own path, like he talked about, and just you know, making decisions, adult decisions, and, you know, whether it be being on time or communicating. But the best part about Reece is when you talk to him, he understands. He sees the bigger picture, and I think that's one of the reasons I think he's going to be a really good player. Is he just stays with it, he keeps working. No matter what we ask him to do, he does it, and you got to have guys like that on your team.
Coming off the bench this season, what are you seeing from him right now?
I'm just seeing a guy every time he goes in, he has no idea when he's going to go in. It's been at different points throughout the year, but it's the same expression. He runs hard to the scorer's table. He checks in, he communicates. We've asked him to play on the perimeter, to guard some of the best players in the Mountain West, to play in the post, and he's done all of it. And he never bats an eye. He tries to do it to the best of his ability. And that's, like I said, you got to have guys like that if you want to be on a winning team.
Great kid, great group of guys you have. Can't wait to see Reece continue to grow more this season. We are back on the road this week with the guys. UNLV travels to Fresno State on Wednesday. The Runnin Rebels dropped their first game to the Bulldogs 73-68 earlier this season. Coach Kruger will tell us how they beat them this time around.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
UNLV is coming off a battle against top-ranked Boise State and will be looking to take down the Bulldogs on the road on Wednesday night at 7:30. UNLV dropped their first game to Fresno State 73-68 earlier this season. The Rebels found their juice late in this game, trailing by 10 at halftime, kind of hitting a lull in the second half, but rallied back to trail by 3 with under a minute to play. Bulldogs ended up making 2 free throws to put this game away, but I think we're seeing a much different Runnin Rebels team now than this game that was almost played a month ago. Coach, would you agree with me that your guys look different compared to January 14th?
Oh, without question. I think they get, like I said, they've continued to get better. They continued to work. And so has Fresno, of course. They've gotten better, been in a lot of good games, won some big games. So I think it should be a good fight, a good challenge for us, but one that the guys are excited for.
How do you guys stop Orlando Robinson, 7 feet tall, 230 pounds, 24 points against you guys?
Yeah, I think just continue to work, make it tough for him. I thought the guys did a pretty good job. We fouled him too much, which has kind of been one of our Achilles heels this year, but guys did a really good job, making him work for his points. And I think anytime you got a guy as talented as him, you just got to let him know that you're going to fight him.
And the second time you see teams, the second time around, are you seeing kind of a different mentality from your guys in practice?
A little bit. Mike said, as you saw in the press conference after the game, that after coming back and playing Air Force once, we had a little different mentality. So, yeah, I mean, with a group, again, that's brand new to each other this year, this gives us a little footage and a little something to show them about what to be different and what to expect. Anytime you can have that, it never hurts.
All right, a 7:30 tip-off on the road Wednesday night. UNLV looking to take a road dub with the Bulldogs. Some big news this week from Governor Sisolak. More masks. Great news. UNLV athletics no longer requiring proof of vaccination at the Runnin Rebels home games. We'll have more details coming up. And how about the Runnin Rebels taking their social media game to a whole new level this season? Find out who we're featuring on the Reb Zone next.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Yeah, some pretty big breaking news from Governor Sisolak this week. Masks are no longer required in public places in the state of Nevada. UNLV athletics announced they will no longer require proof of vaccination to attend basketball games at the Thomas and Mack. Of course, Coach Kruger is hoping to see more fans for Saturday's home game against Colorado State at 5 o'clock. And we were just talking, Coach, it's been a lot of fun to see the Runnin Rebels break the internet this season. UNLV going viral on TikTok thanks to the Runnin Rebels creative team, Matt and Ricky, who have taken UNLV's social media presence to new heights. They're incredibly talented and always working hard. And Coach, I was just saying, their minds are just turning every time you're around them. All their creative TikToks and everything. I feel like it's really taking your program to a whole other level.
No, without question. I mean, these guys are getting great exposure. They're kind of showing the lighter side of college athletics and kind of letting the guys be guys, and whether it be what's in the box or blindfold basketball, letting the guys kind of have fun away from the court.
And it helps that you have a good supporting cast too, right?
Well, yeah, we got a lot of guys that think they're going to be actors and famous in Hollywood someday. So you combine that with Ricky and Maddie, and you got gold.
Yeah, Donovan, Mike, Bryce. I mean, they're all funny guys. And it's so fun to travel with them. I mean, they come on the road trips. They're shooting a lot of behind the scenes of the games. And we're starting to see kind of a more personal aspect of your guys. I know, right? The blindfolded ones. Oh yeah, their favorite rappers. I mean, I feel like with your group of guys, you could really do anything.
Oh yeah, no question.
Cooking show, TV show. They're all funny guys. But yes, we will be sitting down with Matt and Ricky next week, as we'll be on the road with them at Fresno State. So I'll kind of do a little behind the scenes with them. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I feel like everyone at UNLV is really hands-on and trying to get Runnin Rebels program back to where it's been.
Without question, and obviously social media is a huge part of it right now, part of life and a part of recruiting and playing and just all things that go into it. So they've done a great job.
Fresno State and Colorado State this week. You know, what's the focus? What's the vibe this week, Coach?
Keep working. Keep your head down. Keep working.
Yeah, I know. We never stop. We had practice this morning.
Yeah.
We're coming off the plane, but at least we're not traveling every other day.
That's true. That is very true.
Pretty rough. I did laundry last night. I finally did laundry. So yeah, it's been go. But yeah, we're seeing a different juice, a different energy from your guys right now. You know, hoping to come out in Fresno State strong. But that's it for the Reb Zone. We'll see you guys next Sunday.